the virtual campus interviews concept has come up because after the COVID, right? So now the interviews are taking virtually. So I always say to the student, your background has to be perfect when you are sitting for an interview. So does it matters? Because students are
Absolutely.
also saying, sir, what does it matter, sir? What will happen? I have to perform well. I have to give answers. Then I'll get selected. But that is my opinion that if the background is good and it is in a proper way, then definitely it will give a edge. So I just wanted to know your opinion in that regard.
So 10 on 10 on what you just said. Next time, whenever any student asks you why a background is important, so the next question they'll ask is, why am I needed to be groomed, right? Because
Definitely.
I have the right set of knowledge, right set of information. So I just need to give that information, and probably the interviewer is interested in that. Believe you me, sir, you sit for interviews, I sit for interviews, gone are
Right.
those days, right? I have say about 10 students with me at par at the same level of education. But somebody who excels when it comes to the grooming part of it or presenting themselves well. Grooming reflects your level of hygiene, your personal hygiene, how good you are, your management skills, your time management, everything an individual can make out. If your background is hand on with clothes and everything, अगली बार सर जब आप पढ़ाएंगे ना गंदे मंदे कपड़े टांग लीजिएगा and make your background full of clutter and then ask your students, am I approachable enough? No, definitely not. In the same way, when they go out for interviews and they find that their interviewer is shabbily dressed, लाल रंग की सॉक्स पहनी है, केपरीज पहनी है, कोट पहना है, शर्ट बाहर है, टाई है, would they be interested? Would they take him seriously? No. So for
Right.
the other person to take you seriously, these are very, very basic things. They feel that it doesn't probably be needed, but at the back of the mind, yes, they add a lot. Somebody has to do it to feel.
So, in your opinion, what has to be the proper dress up for male as well as female candidate, a fresher student sitting for any interviews for their job purpose?
So I think when we're talking about corporate interviews, so a dress code is like fixed, which is like a formal shirt. When we talk about boys, the boys need to wear a formal shirt. They have to complement it with a dark colored trouser. It should not be the reverse order. Most of the students go wrong when they wear a dark color shirt with a lighter colored trouser. So there are reasons and studies why one should wear a dark colored trouser. So a light color shirt followed with a dark color trouser, and then they have to complement their shirt with a contrasting tie. So the we even teach them as to how to pick up the right tie. Now, only wearing a necktie is not important. The necktie, like you are holding it right at the place, right at the center, with the perfect knot, is what it is. Even the length of it matters, and the second loop, the leftover loop where that has to be secured is important. So when we talk about other accessories, a very important accessories is that your shoe is needs to be well at place. Wear a dark black color shoe because that complements your personality. The shoe needs to be polished. And then you have to wear a regular socks, a plain regular socks with it. No ankle length socks, because when you sit, your trouser tend to, go a little high, and then your beautiful legs are visible. So that should not be
Definitely.
the case. So
I will not
important.
give a good impressions.
Yeah, that really ruins the impression. You may feel that the interviewer would not be able to look at my socks, but when you are sitting in the waiting area, everybody is having a look at your beautiful, forget your beautiful socks, your beautiful legs.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I tell my. So very important accessories that the boys need to carry is a wristwatch, because this reflects that you value time. Your not only and then your hair need to be at place. Side parting is always best. If you can keep a clean shave, well, good enough. If you want to keep a beard, then it has to be trimmed well, very sharp edges, and it has to be perfectly trimmed. From nowhere on your visible skin, it should look dry. So you need a good moisturizer followed by some amount of fragrance. So the color of belt that you carry should match with the color of shoe that you are wearing. Apart from that, the second very most important accessory that you need to carry is a leather folder, which would secure your documents. Because generally what we see in an interview, when a student comes up, they're very fond of these plastic folders, no, those button folders. So in nervousness, generally they roll those folders, they're not realizing it, they're doing it at a subconscious level. So when they sit, they take out that button, tick, opens up, and then they take out their folded resume, and then they pass it on to you. So it ruins the impression. So when you hold a leather folder, it not only gives a professional impression, but it also works upon your body posture. When we talk about girls, it's the same guidelines. They need to wear a pastel color shirt, both boys and girls, because we Indian skin tone, we respond the best to pastel colors. So generally, when we talk about a management industry, it's either white or blue. Well, I am not a fan of white or blue, because I think every individual who's sitting for an interview is wearing either a white or blue. I am not in favor of white, because white requires a very high degree of maintenance. So most of these students stay in their colleges, in their hostels. So maintenance becomes an issue. Two, blue is not a color that would suit every color complexion. So that these are the reason why I'm not in for white and blue. So you can pick up any pastel color shirt, which could be a 3/4 shirt or a full sleeve shirt. You can wear a dark colored trouser. Black looks the best. This is what I have learned over 15 years of my classroom trainings. So girls can even go for an ankle length, for a knee length skirt. So when I say a knee length skirt, has to be a knee length skirt. Doesn't mean that you go too high on knees or too low on knees. So they can even wear a knee length skirt. Now, the girls needs to really replace their necktie with a neck scarf, because when you dress up, your this is where your first impression comes from. So whatever is here, like boys wear a necktie, the sharper your necktie is, it is going to reflect on your index. So you look at yourself without a necktie, then you look at yourself with a plain necktie, then you look at yourself wearing a necktie. In contrast to the shirt, it would reflect onto your face. So the girls are not, I don't recommend girls wearing a necktie, because I think it's a boy's accessory. Girls can complement it with a neck scarf. Now, when we talk about neck scarf, also there are winter ways of wearing a neck scarf and summer ways of wearing a neck scarf. They can always check the videos and have knowledge about that. And when we talk about shoes, girls should wear a black belly. This is what, a closed black belly, which should not have accessories hanging onto them. They should be absolutely black with at least half an inch of heel. A heel is a must, because it really improves your body posture. So when you are wearing a flat, it is as good as wearing a bathroom slipper. So a slight heel gives you a lift, and you feel that in your walk. Same, the very important, the girl needs to lock their hair in a ponytail with a side twist or a front puff, whatever they want to, so that their index is free of any hassle. So what happens is, generally when your hair are open, you're busy playing with your hair, or you don't realize you get along with your hair, and they tend to be a distraction. So good is that you lock your hair, and then your index becomes very defined. It's clear of any distractions, so your facial expressions are more visible. Whatever accessories you wear, a white pearl for that matter in your ears looks very amazing on Indian skin tone. A watch is a must accessory. You need to really color your nails in the most sober or a professional color, so that when you talk, you use your hands. So even that adds to this glory and beauty. And again, last but not the least, a professional leather folder is a must to complete your look.